The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Mid-Carolina Service Company.
Mid-Carolina Service Company is the first name to search for your residential or commercial HVAC needs in Lexington and surrounding areas.
Just go holler at Jason and Clint. They'll hook you up on the air conditioners, on the restaurant equipment, refrigerators, refrigeration, ice machine repair. They've been doing this for years. I know them cats forever.
Family owned and operated since 2006, they pride themselves in their quality work and customer relationships. Call 803-356-4153 or visit midcarolinaserviceco.com for a no obligation quote for service today.
The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by True Brilliance Entertainment.
True Brilliance is a production, promotions, and management company dedicated to connecting artists and producers across the Carolinas to music industry professionals.
Several of their clients have placements both domestic and internationally as a result of their services.
Are you an artist or producer looking to build meaningful relationships within the music industry? Then True Brilliance is for you. Check them out at paramilitary.com. That's spelled P-A-I-R-A military.com.
This episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Bob's. Bob's is a Columbia-based retailer of over 100 Black-owned products from 20 Black-owned businesses. Bob's offers a wide range of items from household cleaning, cosmetics, and everything in between. With every visit to Bob's, you support Black-owned businesses, giving them the opportunity to grow and establish connections with our community. Bob's is located inside the Noma warehouse at 2222 Sumter Street in Columbia, South Carolina. Visit their website, weshopbobs.com, for in-store pickup or to find out more. Bob's can also be found via social media on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at weshopbobs. When you stop by, tell them the Hilltop Glove sent you. Bob's brings quality Black brands to the Columbia community. The Hilltop Glove Podcast is sponsored by Red Rooster Sports Bar and Grill. Red Rooster is your neighborhood bar and grill serving the best wings, burgers, and baskets in the Met.
Like the amazing food, the bar is always on tap, and there's plenty of screens to watch the big game. Red Rooster is the Midland's premier meetup spot for local car and bike clubs, fraternities, and sororities.
Staff is dedicated to accommodating all kinds of parties and events. If you're looking to catch a game, have a bite, and a drink, look no further than the Red Rooster.
Red Rooster is located at 7500 Wilson Boulevard, Columbia, South Carolina. For more information, visit redroostersportsbar.com or visit them on Facebook and Instagram at Red Rooster Sports Bar. Go where the winners go.
Welcome to the Hilltop Glove Podcast.
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 Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday and welcome to this episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Ann Wet, with my brother Skip.
Yo, what's up?
What's happening, Skip?
Nothing much. Another Saturday. You know how we do.
Excellent, excellent. This is our 22nd episode. It's our second season. And today we have our super special guest, Shayne. Shayne, he is an artist, producer, actor, photographer, and cinematographer based out of Columbia, South Carolina. Shayne is also the owner of Row Creative Media Studios in West Columbia, South Carolina. I just want to extend a warm welcome and say good morning to you. And thank you for joining us today on the Hilltop Glove. How you doing today, Shayne?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad y'all have me, man.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. As I do with anybody that does come on our show, and of course our show is about reaching out to us millennials and other younger folk and trying to teach us different ways to adult in the sense of taking care of our business in a proper manner, making sure that we, especially in business ventures, that we handle our business properly, and as entrepreneurs, that we have the right spirit as we move forward in doing our business. So I always like to ask about people's background because we have so many interesting personalities come on. So would you mind giving our audience a bit more information about your upbringing and what influences, whether it be your family or otherwise in the community, et cetera, led you on the path that you're currently on?
And I just tell you, I'm born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. Born in Allen Benedict Court, lived in Leesburg, and then finished high school in Winsboro, South Carolina.
Word.
And I don't come from an entrepreneurial background at all. My dad has and still has a auto shop on Two Notch Road, but honestly,
Oh, word.
never gave me any insight to being a business owner or anything of that sense. So honestly, everything that you see me doing is from me reading and learning by trial and error. I never, they never. I talk to my mom all the time. Like, you never encouraged me to do any of this. You wanted me to get a plant job.
Jesus. At least, hey. I hear you. I hear you. Self-taught.
Yes, being self-taught, and then being a musician early on, I had to learn entrepreneurship. I had to learn business early on. I had to learn how to turn 15 cents into $1 early on, because being an artist is the most expensive thing in the damn world, man.
Repeat that for the audience. They think that's some bullshit.
Being an artist, the artist pays everything. It's the most expensive thing in the world. The artist has to pay for everything. Fast forward a little bit, I got signed back in 2018, and when I got signed as an artist, one of the producers I was working with, Brandon Phillips Taylor, he was like, because he saw my production working, he was like, "Why you want to be an artist?" He kept asking me this all the time. "Why you want to be an artist?" I'm like, "Bro, it's in me. I love performing." He was like, "Man, don't you know that you're gonna spend 10 times as much as you would making beats because you're like dope at production?" I'm like, I understand that, but see, and then the thing about it is, I understand it, but most artists don't understand it. They don't understand that they're gonna kick out $10,000 before they receive $1 back.
Word. That's the truth of the matter when you're dealing with that business. A lot of people don't understand that. And I thought that was interesting too, because, I was watching through your cook-up sessions and whatnot. And I was like, and my brother, we were just talking about this before we got on. We were like, yo, this dude's talented. Like, everything's on point. Like, you could tell he really knows what he's doing. He knows how to craft the music and stuff like that. And usually those people, like you said, they don't become artists. You'll stay in the background. You'll make your money back there doing production. So, I mean, that kind of leads into you're self-made in the sense of self-taught, getting into this industry. But how would you say one of the most defining aspects of art is the creativity put into giving it the needed artistic feelings and expression? However, these elements are sometimes dependent on other variables, including cultural background, life experience of the artist, and their environment. Now, since you don't just do audio, art, or et cetera, do music, you do shoot video. I looked at some of your cinematography. I saw your music, some of the music videos. Tough, very tough work. Good work. I'm trying to tell you, brother, this shit was sharp. Yes. And as a multimedia artist, who or what inspired you to explore each of these areas of arts, and why is being creative important to you? And like, you can kind of build on from what you were talking about earlier about how the business works, and understanding that being an artist is expensive, but technically, man, you're like an artist in 3 different realms.
I am. It's crazy because all of it leads to me trying to be a singer when I was a kid, and everybody told me I couldn't sing. And so I started rapping, right? I started rapping. Yeah. And because rapping is easy. It's rhyming words together. I was pretty good at doing it from like at 9 years old. I was able to spit a freestyle, and people were like, "Dang, that kid got something." So trying to do it, and then we ended up moving to Winsboro. And when I was in Winsboro, I was beatboxing, and they was like, "That's not cool anymore." Everybody was like, I was beatboxing basically. It was like, that's not cool anymore. It's like, up here we beat on tables. And I was like, beat on tables.
Dang.
Beat on tables. So like, I had to learn how to use my hands. Yeah, my hands to make beats with my hands. But it's crazy because like I always kept the music going. I always kept writing songs. I was like published like when I was like 12 in a poem book and everything like that. And like I just always had the creativity like to put things together with words, like want to tell a story with words. And as I got older and I was doing music, like I said, from Winsboro, if y'all know anybody from Winsboro is like the mecca of like the stars from South Carolina come from that area. They
he ain't
like
lying. He ain't lying.
they come from that area. Like, Lil Rue, Lil Broad came up there and got his swag from up there. 18 Vino recently, rest in peace. And a lot of the artists, like they get their mold up there in Winsboro. And I was trying to do it in high school, and remember this guy named Grayson Squarewell. I gave him my tape to give to Baby Grace, who had the record label that Lil Rue was on at the time.
Okay.
And he was like, and I was rapping on these Miami bass type beats. My uncle had gave me these.
I like those beats. I like
I was rapping on it. And I gave him the tape, and he was like, "What the hell am I gonna play this on?" And that was the first time, like, some shit, like, I was like, "What the hell?" And they finally found, I guess, something to play it on. They listened to it. It was like, "Yo, you need better beats." But I'm a broke kid.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this I was a dope, but I was poor. We were poor.
Yeah, like real life.
Yeah. So like, shoot, I started making beats on the computer. This was before it was known to make beats on the computer. Actually, actually before that, I had a keyboard. I bought this keyboard from Radio Shack, like $200 and something, and it was like my last $224, man. And I had a friend come over here. He was a rapper too, and he showed me how to like record loops on my stuff.
Okay.
So basically, I was doing loops on this keyboard. It was a cheap keyboard, but I was recording loops, and then I was recording into a tape player.
Oh, this is the real way. For the audience that they don't know, this is like when you hear people like Wu-Tang explain how they were recording their stuff. This is what they're talking about. They were doing it like this, like literally, from the scratch.
Listen, man, we was recording into tapes, swapping tapes around, layering. I was basically tracking out beats on tapes.
What?
And then I would record the tape into the computer on that whole loop going into the computer through just the sound recorder on the computer.
Wow.
And then
that's
I would
ingenuity,
go ahead.
yo.
Yeah, man. I like literally I just did all kind of crazy stuff. But then I came to this thing called Micro Studio on the computer, and I started making beats on that. It was very generic beats. It didn't sound anything like I was making on the keyboard, but those beats sounded like the future of beats. And so people like gravitated to it. Like, hold on, this kid makes beats on computers. This is before. And then I found FL Studio.
Okay.
Ooh.
I found,
when was this?
It was called Fruity Loops. I had Fruity Loops 3 or Fruity Loops 4, one of them. And I found that, and then that just changed my whole perspective on making beats. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was making some of the best beats in the city. Like, it sounded like I was on the radio already. Ain't gonna lie to you. And everybody was like, "Dang, that kid can make beats." So I ended up selling beats to a lot of people back then.
Okay.
And that's how I fell into being a producer, because of the fact that I didn't know anybody who made beats.
Oh, okay.
But my whole thing stems from all my artists and all my art stems from the fact that I feel like, as a kid, I could talk and nobody listened. I felt like nobody listened to anything I said as a kid. But once I started rapping or singing or played the music, I felt like I had everybody's attention. And the same thing goes with film. I feel like I want to tell a story. And, I can sit here and tell y'all a story now, and people listen now. I didn't realize I had that much influence. I'll tell you a story about that in a few. But people listen now. And with film, now you can see my story.
Exactly.
You can see whatever story I want to write and want to get to the audience. I'm a different type of writer. I did my first movie called Karma. It was a hood film, and after I did that movie, I ain't gonna lie to you, I said to myself, I don't ever want to be labeled black cinema. Black cinema.
Why?
Because
explain that.
It's so cheesy.
Yeah.
When you think black cinema, it's the first thing that pop in your mind when you think black cinema is for one, it's going to be voiceover narrated.
Yeah, you're right.
I really hate those types of movies. But don't tell me the story in words. Show it to me on film. Show it to me on film. This all started 17 years ago. The movie's coming on. I'm like, man, I hate this already.
Oh, you talking about like Menace to Society, that type of thing.
No, it's for real. Yeah. I never thought about it like that, but it's a voiceover.
Those are black. It's black cinema. It's like, but it turns out to be cheesy, and the dialogue turns out not to be real at all.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it turns out not to be real at all. Like when you watch our movie Karma, if you ever get a chance to watch it, the dialogue seemed real, and most of the time because I'm working with non-experienced actors, and they can't remember the script anyway. They just remember where the story is going, so they just start making up their own lines.
But it works to your advantage.
It works. But have y'all ever seen Columbia?
Yeah,
that thing ain't
I love
scripted.
Columbia.
Yeah.
It's not scripted at all.
It's not scripted.
No.
Oh shoot!
People think that show is scripted. They think that show is written. That show isn't written at all. Like, no.
You said that show is not written?
No.
Yo, I thought, no, for real, it's not written?
No.
You gotta be kidding me. Wait.
Big Paul comes in, and this he don't want people to know this. Big Paul comes in, and I'm just telling all the Jews. He comes in, and he be like, all right, so this is where I want the story to go. You say, he'll give you like some things to play off of, but this is where I want it to go in the end of it.
Okay.
And basically like, he might give you some lines in between there to say to each other, some things that are popping in his head as he's watching the scene, watch you act out the scene. But as far as it goes, man, like you writing your own scenes on the spot.
Okay, you know what, Shayne, and that makes a lot of sense now. I'm gonna tell you why. And I was wondering how they set the scenes up, because one of the things I noticed, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I always looked at all the scenes in Columbia like this. You pretty much have two primary characters, right? You have like your lead and you got like your support, like as far as who that particular scene and that story is about, right? Engaging in dialogue. However, it seems like everybody else that comes in, I've always felt like they kind of improvise as they come in to kind of include themselves in the story. And it works out really well. Like I know there are a couple scenes I know I really liked. I think they were at the house. And old dude's girl, I forgot the main character's name, but his girl came in and she was asking him questions about something. But it was like, I was listening to it, I was like, hold on, they're having a conversation. She asked him questions about it. I was like, okay, I'm like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I said, it seemed like it was ad-libbed.
It's the show is very ad-lib. And that's the genius about it.
Yeah,
that is what makes it different.
Because they're not actors.
Yeah.
None of those people are actors. The people that are on that show that have training, they don't have big scenes.
Oh,
they don't have big scenes at all.
Oh my Lord, that's interesting.
They don't have big scenes at all. Like Nagy, Sammy Nagy. You know, he's a trained actor. He's been on NCIS and all that. When he came on the show, he didn't have a big scene at all, and he's been on TV. Like, give him his little part, and he's trained. Give him his little part. But other than that, when it come down to keeping it real for the streets and for people in South Carolina to like relate to it. And he's like, I'm taking the guys off the streets and giving them something to do.
Yeah.
I love that about that. I wanted to be a part of season 1 more so. I wanted to come in as like, when he called me about that show in season 1, I told him the type of character I wanted to play. And I can't get this character from anybody. Even when I'm talking to other producers and that's writing and stuff like that, they won't give me this type of. I want to play like this mysterious, like quiet guy. I want to play like that guy. I want to play like the guy you're scared of because he's so quiet.
Yeah.
No, they everybody wants me to be this big thug gangster guy, and I'm like, I understand. I'm a big black ass dude. But at the same time, like I want to show depth in my layers of acting.
Yeah.
And he was like, "There's no room for that in this," and so. Basically, season 1, I'm not in there. Season 2 comes in, he calls me, and I'm like, I got to be a part of this now. I got to come in.
Okay.
I got to come in. So I'll take whatever role you got. He's like, all right, I want you to be the guy who extorts people. I was like, okay, that works.
Okay, cool.
That gives me something to work with. I can extort people, okay? And so, but he still made me like this thug, this gangster type guy. And it's funny because when people meet me in person, I remember coming out the library downtown. I used to like, this old lady stops me and was like, "You're smiling." She says this to me like,
"Oh my Lord." See what I'm saying? Nah.
And she's like, "I watched that show. You never smile." Like,
you never smile.
I'm like, well, it's a character. It's a character. It's a character. I'm really a nice guy. How are you doing?
No, I was about to say, man, because I was just all over your social media stuff, looking at your stuff, man. You have I could tell you got a very gregarious and attractive personality. I know that has to affect your your business in a positive way.
Well,
right?
It affects it in a positive way and a negative way. I ain't gonna lie to you, man.
Dang, bro.
Because people feel like they have so much access to me because of the fact that I'm so nice.
Yeah.
I'm such a good guy. And then when they realize that I actually have this asshole side,
you have to though.
Yeah.
It bothers them to the point where they hate me. It's like, oh man. Because at the end of the day, when it comes down to business, you have to be able to put on that business hat.
Thank you.
I can't continue to be your friend all the time, man.
Yep.
It's everything about me is business now because of the fact that I got bills to pay, man. I got a kid I'm raising. My son the same size as me. So when I'm buying me clothes, I got to buy him clothes.
Him clothes, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, the kid wears size 11 and a half shoe. He's 13 years old, man.
Good Lord.
He already at 11 and a half. I wear 11 and a half.
Be quiet. Dang. Oh, man. He's a big boy.
The kid is huge. And I'm like, I take him with me. And it's crazy thing about I take him with me to film and stuff like that so he can see how I actually make my money because I make him work for every dollar he gets because my dad, I never asked my dad for money growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did ask him for money, it was for something important because I never felt like I told you, I felt like I was a unseen kid. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So he knew when I asked for anything, it was mainly because I needed it. Our kids, they grew up so entitled.
Yep.
And they feel
that's
like
a good thing.
Because you're a parent and I want it, you got to give it. But I told my son early on, I taught him early on, you got to work for everything you get, buddy. You got to work for everything you get when it comes down to it. Wash these clothes. I told my son, this is the way his report card has to go. For every A you have, you start at $200 on the report card. For every A you have, we're going to add $25 to that $200. For every B, we take it off $25. For every C, we taking off $50. For every D, we taking off $75. You get an F, we taking off $100.
Smart.
But it's consequences.
Yeah. And so this kid, for the first all the way up to 6th grade, he was making straight A's. This kid was like, I'm going to make straight A's because I need to buy this and buy that and buy this.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. So he worked hard in school, smart kid. Now, since COVID, I can't really rely on report cards like that because they just giving these kids grades now.
I see that. Yeah, there's something else going on with that.
Yeah, so what I do now is basically now you got to get out here and work for it, buddy. Now you got to carry this equipment with me to these sets and carry. He got to meet George Rogers just recently.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, I shot a commercial for George Rogers just recently.
Oh, man, so
cool.
And so he got to meet George Rogers. He was like, at first he didn't know who the hell George Rogers was because I'm not a sports fan.
Yeah.
Okay. So my kid is not a sport. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
So, he didn't know who George Rogers was. When he got to meet him and George Rogers went to give him a pound, he said, "Hey man, that ring hurt." And George was like, "Yeah, that's my Super Bowl ring." That is my Super Bowl ring. Kid's like, "Hey, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture with you?"
That's dope, man. That's dope. Speaking of, man, yo, Shayne, speaking of business, right? Mm-hmm. Since you're on the side of business and creating wealth and talking about family and generational change, you have some studios. You actually own a creative studio.
Yeah.
And could you explain to us how you put that together? Because I was, looking at the timeline, seeing how it was coming together. Could you explain how you put that together, that process?
Man. Honestly, just jumped. I ain't gonna lie to you. I jumped out the window with an idea. And it stemmed from me being in a couple of different places. Mm-hmm. I've owned like a recording studio before.
Okay.
And I work closely with 88 Studios over in West Columbia. Production team works out of there, the Unbeatables. Mm-hmm. And that's what we wanted. Basically, while I was there, we wanted to build a place where people can come, photographers can come take pictures and stuff like that. But in that situation over there, in that building, I wasn't able to build it the way I wanted to build it. I just want, and it stemmed again from me, like when I had to work out of the library a lot, when I didn't have an office to edit my videos and stuff like that. I said, they got that editing room.
Yeah. And that's so dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Inside of the editing room, you get to meet so many people. People that was in that room didn't realize that they were influencing the things I was doing in my music video just by having conversations while I'm editing.
Hey, that's dope.
And I was like, I want to create a place like this. Mm-hmm. When COVID came and you couldn't go back to the library, I wanted to create a place where creatives can come and have conversations and edit and get their work done in peace.
Got you.
And so I started putting the plan together for, having a place like that.
How did you get the building purchased?
Man, I'm a hustler, so like
I know. That's why. Look. I know questions I'm asking. That's why I'm asking.
I'm a hustler, so like when it comes down to it, man, I had to put some money to the side. I had to put a good money to the side.
My guy.
And,
that's important for people to know. You have to start. You have to, because that people don't understand. Like, how do you get a building? How do you make sure you have the space? Because like you said, you have to go.
I'll tell you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do. I ain't gonna lie to you. I forge a lot of documents for a lot of people.
No.
I do that.
We didn't hear that, y'all. We hear that. We hear that.
I want to hear it because I need more customers. So, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, when they ask for like proof of income, us as businessmen, we don't know shit about business. We really don't keep records the way we should keep records. So
yes.
So we can show these people. And I had to learn this, like in the last 6 months, I had to learn this like very closely, like how to keep records for your business so that you can show somebody that you make a profit in your business. But when I went to get this building, I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have that I didn't have those records. So everybody was running around here doing PPPs, and I learned how to make a Schedule C.
Okay.
That shows profit from the previous year.
Okay.
So I made a fake one. I ain't gonna lie to you. I made a fake one. I mean, my real money was on it.
Yeah.
But I didn't use the Schedule C for my taxes because I ain't gonna get into all of that.
But the business is separate from the person.
Yeah. I made one, and I gave it to the people, and they approved me. And I was like, okay, cool. I had the money. At the end of the day, it's all about money with these people. They don't care. They don't care that they probably looked at that thing and might have even known it was fake. But the fact that I had the money in hand,
they couldn't
things move.
They didn't want to turn away.
Man, I actually like RO Media is RO Media Creative Studios, by the way.
RO.
RO Media. Yeah, it stands for Rock On Media, basically.
That's what I was about to ask you. Okay.
Yeah, I used to be a rock star. I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to rap with live bands and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And so the vision I had for it was two buildings. One side, photo studio, video studio. The other side, the creative space where the suites where you go to edit, where you have an office space to meet with clients and things like that. And so I got two buildings from the same people. They're side by side with each other.
Okay.
And basically I've just been renovating. I was renovating both of them, and then it turns out that my suites had a roof leak.
Oh.
And so they've been fixing on that for like 4 months. So as of right now, I'm not in that building. I just have the creative studio side, but I'm still making it to where at least one person can come in and use a computer. Like, cause I got this 27-inch iMac back here with like 24 gigs of RAM on it. And so bring your hard drive in, plug up, use the computer to edit your videos, edit your photos. If you want to use the space, I got a membership program for photographers because I know how expensive it can get to rent photography space. I was in LA earlier this year, and I was trying to rent a photography space or video space. And for the 2 hours I was there, it cost me, I think it was like $270 something.
Man, good Lord.
I was like,
2 hours.
2 hours.
Lawyer fees.
And listen, I had to, I'm in there rushing. There rushing, like trying to shoot this music video. It was for an artist named Pace. And the video came out dope as hell. It looks like a movie.
Yeah. That's what I was going to talk to you. Yeah, it's dope. I seen it.
Yeah, it came out dope as hell. But he basically, I realized, like, hold on, this is crazy that they're charging so much. I know it's LA, but at the same time, they're charging damn near $100 an hour to use a space. And the space is no bigger than my storage room here.
And it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because it's their space and they set their prices. So with my membership program, basically, I got people that pay like $240 something for the year.
Okay.
And then you get the discounted rate of paying $20 per hour to rent the photography space throughout the year.
Man, that's dope, man. And that leads straight into the next topic, man. You're showing the importance of owning creative spaces, especially as Black-owned creative spaces. That ability you have right there to set a price point that you know is accessible so you can actually give people access to something. And with that being said, like, why do you think, like, why do you think it's important that we own and manage those spaces? And how can we better network with these spaces? Because it seems like you're big on networking in these spaces.
Basically, the importance of owning is basically being able to, I like it for the networking process of it. I get to meet different photographers in the city. I meet people that I didn't even know were photographers.
Dang.
You know, and I'm like, okay, let me see some of your work. And I'm like, oh, you have a different eye. Let's do it that way. But the importance of having it is just basically being able to provide something for the community and for the creatives in the area. Because it goes back to the fact that I am an artist. I am, I'm an actor. I'm a writer. When it comes down to writing film and everything like that. So if I'm in here and I'm letting photographers and cinematographers come into the space, I might come across my next director of photography in the process.
Smart,
and I didn't charge them much to use the space, so now not going to charge me much to work on my project.
Smart, man. I like that model.
But like I say, it's all about just trying to bring everybody together. It comes back to me being a super nice person at the same time. I hate that I'm so nice sometimes, but at the same time, it's like I want people around me that's going to benefit themselves and benefit me in the long run. As far as what I sit here and sometimes I'll watch a photo session and I'll learn something new. I'll learn something new. You know, oh wow, you set the light up that way. Oh wow, you turned off that light completely. I got the big strobe lights in here. You know, the 120 centimeter umbrella, I think, and like Corinne Berry comes in and uses the space a lot.
So wait, so they have use and access of tools as well in the space?
Oh yeah. You can use my strobe lights, you can use my stationary lights, you can use my LED lights. I even have it where if you need to rent a camera, you can rent a camera. I got 2 cameras. I got the
Olympus, that's super dope. Oh wow.
I got the Olympus EMD and I got the Sony A7 A7 III. And so you can use. And then with my A7 III, I have the G Master lens with that, the 85 millimeter G Master lens, which is great for headshots. And you can rent those. And it's not expensive.
Man, that's super dope. And you can do everything in that one spot. You can literally go in there, rent the product, shoot your stuff, edit it, and then take out a finished product. All in the same area. I've always wanted a place where you can come. It's a one-stop shop. Got you.
Got you. When I first started coming to Columbia to record, this is when Quantum Beats was like the mecca. I remember that recording.
Place. Yeah.
It was like the mecca for recording. You went in that place, they had Noah sitting at the table and he was doing graphics, and they had, I forget the other guy's name, he was sitting over here and he did photography in the back. And you got the guy over here who can print up the CDs for you. They literally walked in there. Yeah, you walked in there and you can walk out of there with your whole project done in a couple of days and everything's printed up and ready to go sell.
That's fun.
I was like, that's the type of space I always wanted,
Yeah.
But the problem is I've always been the guy to do everything. So I be stretched so thin sometimes.
But I think too, and this is what and I know you recognize this too, a lot of folk in the rest of the country, they always recognize the grind and hustle of the folks in the South because we like to do stuff from scratch. We'll do everything independent and build it from the bricks. And that leads straight into the next point and this is the point you're making, so what do you think we can do to better support the Black creative entrepreneurs like yourself that call the Carolinas home? Because I think we, like I said, you could tell y'all ain't lazy. You're hardworking. How can we better support y'all?
Well, see, that's what we differ in the parents. The majority of these guys are lazy. They want it handed to them. And that's
speak
the
on it. Speak on
that's
it.
That's the problem. Everybody wants everything handed to them. I ain't gonna lie to you. When they come from up north, and right now I'm working with B Bad. I don't know if y'all know who she is. She's an actress and a plus size model. And she wants to be. Now she's moving into music, so she's rapping now.
Okay.
B-Bad's she's from New York.
Okay.
And that hunger and grind, that New York hunger and grind that she has, it outworks everybody that's working in the music industry right now in South Carolina.
Oh yeah, they do got work ethic. I'm not even talking about the work ethic. I know they got the work ethic. Yeah. It's just that community based. You know how in the South we'll work together to do certain things, but you know what we don't do, and this is why I always find it to be weird at certain times. It's just like coming in with that support factor.
I would love to say that's one thing that we do lack. Nobody supports each other. You know, I'm gonna talk shit. So
that's what we're here for.
I have my production group. Stick, it's Quincy Carey Belton. He makes beats, you know, and plays keyboard for a lot of churches, and dude's phenomenal. And then I have Sip. Sip got his. Sip is like the trap producer king in the city. Like I know a lot of guys get beats from Sip and it's
don't
crazy. Yeah. And so like but the thing about it is these are my friends. These are my homeboys. We work together. We built a team. But when I went to get this space, they weren't supportive of this shit at all. They was like, "You leaving us."
Oh.
And it was like, "You leaving us," and it was like, I didn't feel no support. I didn't feel that. And so like, trust me, I'm on the end of that, like having to do it myself type shit. And like, even if I need you to just come over here and pick up a broom, bro, that's support to me. That's support to me. Sharing a post about because I do Taco Tuesdays here where we just play chill music. You pay $10, all you can eat tacos. And we got games, you got like
I like those events. I saw that. I like those events.
Yeah, so you just come in and you chill.
Gotcha.
And you know, Stick comes all the time, even though he doesn't even eat meat. He comes all the time and just chills and plays games and get a couple drinks while you're here. Sip hasn't come to one yet, but support in the South is like very lacking. My mom hasn't even been to my space yet.
Oh man.
And it's not like, and I've given her a car, so it's like,
oh man,
so it's like you can pull up anytime.
This space, it's a lovely space. That's all I'm saying. It's not like, it's not threatening or nothing. It's mad professional.
Exactly. So I like literally her first time seeing my space in person will be Thanksgiving because I'm doing like my family Thanksgiving thing here.
Oh, that's good. That's dope. That's smart. That's very smart.
So that's gonna be her first time seeing my space, and it's not like she lives far away. She still lives in Winsboro. That's 45 minutes. Man, come on, bring your head down here. But like you're right.
Yo, go see that space.
Yeah, it hits you like when you think about it, like, damn, nobody
support. Yeah, because I know Kevin and I we talk about the fact that in the city, right? Yeah. You'll do certain events and whatnot, and sometimes it'll be crazy. Like you would think you're crazy, saying like it's the same people that come in every time.
Yeah.
Like, ain't I know there's more people out there that are here to support stuff, but that's something I think I hope it will improve, man, because like you said, with folk like you creating these atmospheres and these areas where you can get this stuff done, I think just out of need, hopefully that will show. And especially even with this stuff going on with COVID or whatnot, people are more apt now to stay and do things local if necessary, because I hate to say it's not as easy as it was before to go back and forth unless you're prepped and ready to do such a thing, you know?
That shit costs money.
That's exactly. You can't just be popping like that. And then also, this is another thing, I mean, that leads into one reason why we want to have support. We want to be able to do stuff local too, is because of saving a time and the ability to have a better balance between work and family if you don't always have to be here, there, or travel all the way halfway across the country just to get something done. So this is something we always talk about on this show too, because for folk in our age range, one thing we work hard, and usually that could cause a bad, like I said, it can create a bad situation for family. And so how do you find a balance between doing your work, getting your stuff done, and still being a part of a family and carrying on as a father?
Well, the way that I carry on as father with my business is mainly, like I said, I give my son jobs to do, and he comes with me because I'm always working.
That's all I was about to say. Yeah,
there's no downtime for me. Like the moment I get off the phone with y'all, you know, get off this podcast, which I love y'all platform and everything, man. The moment I get off of this, I got to make phone calls to clients because my assistant ain't answer her phone. She's supposed to be making them, but
She get called out. All right, go ahead.
She get called out.
Get on the job.
Get on the job.
So I got to make phone calls to clients that want to rent the space, and try to set things in stone. And this is for me. Honestly, I'm enjoying this conversation. This is also work for me to get the space out there. This is also a promotional tool for me to talk about the things I have going on and the things I want to do too. So like I always have to bring my son. My son, when he comes, he sets up his Xbox on the TV here, and he spends the time with me here, and then he might take a break, help me with what I got going on, and go right back to the Xbox.
I know that feels good to be able to do that with your son in the space, and the space be good. That's fly.
For some reason, he think I'm rich. I ain't rich. I told him that.
But the beautiful thing about that, though, Shayne, is the fact that, for him growing up, he has a reference point of ownership, of seeing somebody in control of their own life as far as how they go out and they make a living, their own career pursuits. And that leads to, that sets that baseline for him. Not that he can't go out here, that he might not work for anybody else or anything, but he knows he has a variety of options because he's seen his father do that.
I'm a keen fan of, finding your way in life. Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody's meant to be a business owner. When they tell people all the time, get your LLC and do that, it's so much more to that. It's so much more to that.
It's not that easy, yeah.
It's not that easy. You mean you can spend that $175 or whatever, get your LLC in Colombia or whatever, but at the same time, what you gonna do after that? Now you need if you not working from home, you need a venue. Now you need proper licensing to do whatever you need to do. And it goes into all that, and my son goes with me to these places to get these licenses. So he see that it costs money to make money. Mm-hmm. It costs money to make money. I do want him to know that it's okay to go to college and get an education and go work, be a doctor, a lawyer, be a biochemist, scientist, or something out here.
Exactly. We need those. We actually need those.
Yeah, cure cancer, man. Go do that. Do that. Honestly, if I grew up, like I said, the way I grew up, they didn't teach us about entrepreneurship. You got out of high school, you went to work in a plant, or you laid bricks, or you built houses.
That's real. Yeah, that's true. That was the generation we came from. Yep.
And it's crazy because I'm a certified carpenter and mason, and I've worked in 1,000 plants in Colombia.
Yo, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Shut up. You a certified carpenter and mason?
Yeah. Lay bricks.
Good Lord.
Me and my, if you come to the studio, you'll see some of the stuff in the studio. You go to the recording studio. I don't know if anybody been following my Snap or my Facebook. Mm-hmm. I built the booth over there the other day. We built a new booth in the recording.
I saw that up there. Yeah.
I was wondering. That's why I was wondering how he was doing that. My fault. That explains that. My fault. I didn't cut you off.
So they didn't know. They didn't. And it's funny thing. They're my friends, and I've said this 1,000 times. Yeah, I can do carpentry work. I've said it 1,000 times, but they didn't know. They're going to hire some Mexicans. I was like, hell no, you're not going to hire any Mexicans. I can do it myself.
Support your black carpenters and masons, please.
So let me go ahead and do this for y'all. So
exactly.
We knocked it out. Basically, got everything almost put together in 3 days.
Wow.
And now I got to go back in and do some electrical work. But other than that, it's they got a booth now. They got a booth with a window, because before at 88 Studios it was a whole separate room for the recording.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Couldn't see
each other. Yeah, you couldn't see each other.
Wow.
And that takes you back to they were wondering why I was putting so much into the look of my building. Mm-hmm. And they didn't understand. Now they understand. It's all about the look when you want customers to come in.
Yep.
I get booked. People don't even know how big the space is, but I get booked off of for parties and baby showers and stuff like that, off of pictures based off how this place looks.
Claude Anderson, man, he said, tighten y'all businesses up, black people. Get your stuff looking right. Get it looking right.
I hated walking into a studio and not feeling comfortable.
Yep.
One thing I do is please stop smoking in y'all buildings too.
True. No, tell them. Yeah.
I'm smoking in y'all building because I don't smoke. I can't bring my kid with me all the time. I can't bring my kid in there. He got asthma.
Yeah. Come on, man.
When I walk in your studio and I smell weed automatically, I'm like, man, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go. Can't be here. Let me go. And now I gotta go shop with the white guy because he ain't allowing smoking in there because he knows that smoke finna clog up his speakers some kind of way.
Say it again.
His equipment. Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it is those same people, right, won't even question him about the fact he doesn't have any smoking. But if you tell them that you have smoking, then they question you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
I hate it. I hate it. Now, I'm going to tell you now, when it comes down to my music now, because I'm about to drop a couple projects, I record all my music with Corey. I met Corey through Steve Ray, if y'all know who Steve Ray is.
I don't think I know Steve.
Steve Ray, Grammy-nominated artist and producer. Artist and instrumentalist.
Okay.
He's from Hawkins, South Carolina. Him and his brother. Him and his brother been to the Grammys.
Oh.
He plays on the Blind Boys in Alabama's stuff, and like I got to work with Steve Ray. I met Steve Ray back, I want to say 2009, and me and him have been close friends ever since. He took me to Corey. I got to see how Corey works, and it took me a while to get a session with Corey. I've been working with Corey maybe over 2 years now, two and a half years now, and it took me. Corey, you got to book a month in advance.
Yes, professional. Hey, he needs time to prep. Yeah.
Well, it ain't even that. He's just that damn busy.
He's booked that far out.
Booked that far out. I literally, I missed a session with him last week on Tuesday because I forgot I had Taco Tuesday here, and I had booked it a month ago before I started Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
and I missed it. And I called Corey. I said, "Hey man, please tell me you got something later on in this week that somebody canceled." He's like, "Nah, bro." So I was like, "When you can get me?" He said, "The end of November." He looked at his calendar and he tells me, and the guy, because of the fact that he has a certain level of professionalism, and I'm learning from watching him too.
Yeah,
he has a certain level of professionalism.
It matters.
People have no problem booking that far in advance to record one song.
Because they know what they're going to get. They know what the product is. Yep.
They know what the product is. They know the atmosphere of the space when they come in. And I love that his space is like a creative space as well, because I've met artists there as well. I met a guy who he raps and he plays bass while he raps.
Oh.
And he's a dope. He got a different style. He's dope. He's real. Damn, I wish I could remember his name right now.
That's all right.
But because I like to put people on too, because his album is fucking sick. His album is sick, and I'm like, damn, bro, you don't need to be. So I'm like, you know how people tell me all the time, Shayne, you don't need to be in South Carolina. And people tell me that all the time. But
exactly.
I found myself selling this guy this. I never had to say that to anybody. Like, bro, you don't need to be in South Carolina. This is not the place for you.
Dang.
It's not a place for you. They're not going to understand what you got going. They're not going to understand the genius that you're doing right now. I get told that all the time. I remember I was in a barbershop one day and I was talking to, he used to be Backpack Shorty's manager. And he was listening to my music. He was like, he said, well, he wasn't listening to my music then. I could tell he had been watching on Facebook because he said to me, he came up to me out of the blue, was like, hey, get the fuck out of South Carolina with that music you're doing because people are not ready for it here.
Yeah.
He says the world is going to understand it, not South Carolina. So honestly, I don't promote any of my music in South Carolina, believe it or not. I promote all my stuff outside of South Carolina, Miami, Atlanta, New York, California. I promoted places like that. I promoted in Africa, which is
for real.
Yeah, I went viral in Africa at the end of 2019.
Good Lord. See,
I'm getting booked for shows, and then COVID hits, and I can't fly out the goddamn country.
But
so I went viral. Criminal, and then some of my skits sent me through the roof in Africa. I'm in Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Cape Verde. I had shows booked out that bitch, and you know how this industry is. If either you stay relevant or we forget you.
You forget you. Yeah, you fall off.
Yeah, and so because of COVID hit, I'm struggling. We're trying to figure out ways to make money.
To pick it back up. Yeah, you got to pick that back up.
I'm leaving the music behind because I'm over here struggling to make money in this other area. In these other areas that's more lucrative at this moment. Mm-hmm. Because, like I say, it costs money to be an artist.
It does. It really does. Speaking of which, I know we're about at that time, but before we close out today, I have to know, and I want you to make sure you drop this information for our folks too. What current projects are you working on, and where can our audience find you? Where can people find you?
Okay, well, I got 2 albums that I'm working on. I was going to be, it's 2 EPs I'm working on. It was going to be 3 of them, but I decided to combine 2 of them together. One of them is called Clean Slate. It's almost like a lo-fi jazz R&B album.
I'm gonna have to buy that one off rip. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that one has the song "Criminal" on it, and it's like it just has that really chill vibe to it. And then I have Ocean Avenue, which is I had 3. Like I said, it was 3. It was Vibes, and then Ocean Avenue, and I just decided to put all of it on Ocean Avenue. And Ocean Avenue has R&B, a little bit of rap on it, but mostly it's just very ethnic and experimental sound. When it comes down to, it sounds like the island. It sounds like Africa. It sounds like the culture.
Definitely checking them out. Yeah.
So once those are done, and they should be, I'm literally looking at releasing those before the end of the year.
Okay.
Clean Slate is completely done, and actually, now that I think about it, Ocean Avenue is done as well. So basically, I'm just putting in motion now. Now I got to sit down and work up a business plan on how I'm going to promote it to the world.
Gotcha. Please let us know when those things drop so we can promote it and listen to it as well, so we can get some of those songs on our playlist.
And definitely, if y'all want to find me, I am your Shayne on Instagram. I am your Shayne on Snap. I am your Shayne on TikTok. I am your Shayne on Facebook. I try to be coherently.
Smart. That makes it easy. I always like when people have the same moniker across, because if not, you can get confused. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
And if anybody wants to just send me money randomly, I am verified on Cash App. It's the money sign ROBBI 100.
There we go. Let them know what it is.
If y'all want to do that. Now, I do plan on starting to shoot a film at the beginning of January. So I will be letting people know when I'm holding auditions. I really want to shoot this one film I got called, it's a working name. It's Mistaken Identity.
Okay.
And it's about these 2 musicians who get mistaken for thieves. And so, but it's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. Shoot. Again, please let us know when you get that thing wrong. Let us know what's going on with that too. Yeah. So it's gonna be a dope vibe. It's live music being played throughout it. It's actually gonna incorporate everything I do. Dope. Well, shoot. Just for, I guess, professional points, this will conclude this episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. I want to thank our guest, Shayne, for joining us today. I very much appreciate it, brother. It's an interesting conversation. I got to learn a lot about stuff that I thought I knew. And I know our audience is also going to learn about stuff, too, from listening to this. And I just want everybody to know, whoever listening to the Hilltop Glove Podcast out there, etc. I want everybody to have a blessed one today. Be safe, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
That's it for today's episode of the Hilltop Glove Podcast. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Hilltop Glove.